Hi, this is Terry Brock with TerryBrock.com, and I want to share a story with you that I read yesterday in the Wall Street Journal that really spoke to me and has a lesson for you and me. It was one here in the business news about what's going on with petroleum engineers. Who will hire a petroleum engineer now? And that's an important concern because many people have gone to college. They were told, hey, you need to get into that STEM thing, science, technology, engineering, math, studying that. They try to become a petroleum engineer. They're even offered jobs, and then those job offers have now been rescinded. And there's a bleak outlook for petroleum engineers and those that are in the energy industry because price of gas has been going down, price of petrol, oil, et cetera, going down. And that's good for you and me as consumers, real bad if you're in that industry. And so now here they are. They've gone into a field that people said they should. They've studied hard, put in a lot of years of their life. Probably many of them have borrowed a lot of money. Now they're really heavily in debt, thinking they were going to get a good job that's going to give them a comfortable living, and then kaboom, it's gone. Hey, welcome to this thing called life. It's not fun, but there are some hope for those people and for you and me, because as I look at it and think about it, there's a lot going on in the world today that can be very good. We see that there are several principles that can still help us even in the midst of that, because you and I are facing this regularly. We think it's going to be one way with this new normal, and this is coming along, and then all of a sudden, whammo, we get slugged in the gut, and we're having to adjust and adapt to it. So what do you do? Here are a couple of ideas that I seem to have run across, and they seem to have helped me. I'd be interested in hearing from you. Number one, be as flexible as Gumby. Gumby, he is all moving around, all that little clay animation figure. That is important. Always remain flexible. I love the way Bruce Lee said it also. He said, be the water. Keep changing, adapting, because that is the way that the world has worked for, a few billion years now. And it's important that you and I maintain flexibility. Number two, always maintain a curious mind. Like a little child that's going, why? And they'll ask why a number of times. And how many times should they ask it? I think enough as is necessary. And when you can have that curious mind, you'll be able to exceed whatever happens in the future. Keep thinking, how can I do that better? What do I do in this situation? Ooh, bummer, something bad happened here. And what do I do to adjust from that? Make sure that you can do that. And then here's another one. A third point is continue to learn from many different viewpoints. You might believe things should be done this way, and you've got lots of reasons. So you listen to those podcasts, you read those articles, talk to those people that believe this. Hey, over here on this side, there's some people that think a little bit differently. I think the aggressive intellectual is one who embraces all of those. Jeffrey Tucker says this best with Liberty.me. He talks about being an aggressive intellectual, someone who is reading not only your side, but many other sides as well. Understand what they're saying and why they're saying that. That can help you because you start becoming more curious and you become more flexible on that as well. Learn how to learn faster and better. Today's world, it really matters how fast you can read, how much you can retain, how much you can absorb your memory. Even in a day of Google, we need to know memory because, hey, even though we can sit down and I can type in here on my phone, I think it's fabulous. I can say, who was the 23rd president of the United States or something like that? And that was Benjamin Harrison, by the way. 22nd was Grover Cleveland, and 24th was Grover Cleveland also. But whatever I want to type in there, I know I do that a lot. But you put it in here, you've got all these things. We think, why should I have memory? Well, it's because your brain does better when you're stretching it, when you're growing it, kind of like push-ups. You've done them before, but do them again today because that's going to help you to grow. You want to keep stretching that brain with memory and with reading faster. A couple of things that I found that really helped me is Norman Deutsch's book, The Brain That Changes Itself. Great little book. He is a medical doctor and psychiatrist, and he has studied how the brain changes. It used to be we'd say, as you get older, your brain's just going to naturally go. The cells are going to be gone, and that's it. Well, we know now that is not true. We know that science shows us that with MRIs, with fMRIs, they can scan the brain. They see the brain actually changes itself, starts growing and changing, much like a cut on your hand can heal. Over time, we see that the brain can heal as well. And that's important. So you want to keep stretching your brain and growing. As far as memory, a book that I found that I really like is called The Memory Book. I read it first when I was in 7th grade. So it was a long time ago with Harry Lorraine and Jerry Lucas. The basic principles of that still apply today. And I would highly recommend that. And another thing, let me give you an extra tip here that I found really helpful. That is photo reading. I learned that from several different people and have to always thank my friend Amanda Clark over there in Manchester in the UK, who helped me to really get inspired to do that more. I took the self-study course first, then went on for their advanced photo reading mind retreat. Really helped me to do a lot more. It's not just speed reading. It's a different system. It really gives you the ability to read a lot more. Reading 1, 2, 3 books a day is now something I normally will do. I like doing that, and that's no big deal. Many people can do a lot more. But I want you to look into those things that are going to help you on growing that way. And number 5, fifth point here, embrace lifelong and day-long learning. We know the benefits of lifelong learning. You keep going back to school, take classes, going to sessions, seminars here and there. But I would encourage you throughout the day to continue to learn. I love my little iPhone here, and I'll listen to podcasts throughout the day when I'm working out, when I'm walking, when I'm even doing something like doing the laundry or dishes. And I'll do that because it helps me to free up my mind. Work really hard and intense for a while, then step back and take a break by doing the dishes, doing the laundry, and listening to a really fun learning podcast. There are many out there, and I encourage you to look into them. And so going back to our friends who are graduating with a degree in petroleum engineering, I would say this to you. I feel for you. I can feel your pain. As a former president of the United States would say, I know that it can be really tough. And guess what? Welcome to the planet. It works that way here. I know that doesn't sound real good, but as you look at your assets, see what you can do. In business school, they told us to do this thing called a WOTS analysis, where you look at WOTS, we jumble the letters around a little bit and say your strengths, your weaknesses, your threats, and your opportunities. You've learned some wonderful things. Yes, you've learned about petroleum and engineering, and you've learned some good things, but beyond that, you've learned how to learn. Look at other areas where there are opportunities. Okay, it might get a little bit slow in this area. It might come back later, but expand your mind. Some of the things in the article they mentioned is, hey, what you might do is double down. Some of them said they went on for a master's degree in this, hoping that by the time they finish with their master's degree, things will have improved. Others went on for a master's in business administration. I think the idea of diversification makes sense. I have found that in life, it's very good if you can be really good in an area and then get really good in another area as well. Make sure you got 2 skills. Like, for instance, you might be an engineer, but you also speak Japanese. That gives you an advantage over people that only are engineers, don't speak Japanese and that's needed, or that speak Japanese but don't know engineering. You put those 2 together, you can do a lot. In my own life, I know being a journalist helped me a lot, and then learning business as well. Kind of put those together, and it helps me to understand what's going on as I keep bouncing around in a world that's constantly changing. So I wish you the best and look forward to hearing from you. Please leave a comment over on Facebook or Twitter or on LinkedIn or other places. Those 3 particularly would be real good. I would love to hear from you. Others would be able to benefit from what you say, and you've got my contact information here on my page at terrybrock.com. I will look forward to hearing from you. Wishing you the best. Thank you very much for joining me.